was really insightful too, and talked so much about financial integrity, sort of institutional integrity. But you also made reference to yeah, unfortunately, some of these tragic situations that we're seeing as from a personal integrity standpoint, leadership integrity and individual leaders, and some of the falls that we've seen, or whatever it may be. And just love to have you speak to that too. Your observations around that, and what can we do? What can we do to help turn the tide in that area?
Well, ultimately, it's true for you, it's true for me, right? Is that it's always the heart of the leader. Any of these tragic stories, you can point to a variety of things, and I think those do need to be evaluated. I'll talk about those in just a second. But ultimately, our heart walk to the Lord, our walk of faith with the Lord, you can fake it for a while, but we've got to, as leaders, realize that, it was Os Guinness years ago that talked about the audience of one, right?
Yes.
And there is a lot of truth to that statement. That's very biblical. I'm accountable to the Lord. I'm gonna be rewarded or lack thereof. Paul speaks about that in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. This is not a judgment of believers in that context. It's a judgment that's going to come about the deeds that, as believers, the opportunities that we've done. So I think that all of us remembering that we have an accountability that is higher than our ministry, and it is to the Lord himself. So it's always about the heart of the leader. Howard Hendricks, one of our legends around Dallas Seminary for years and years and years, always used to use that phrase and said, you end up leading out of who you really are.
Say that again. So good.
You end up leading out of who you really are. In other words, it's going to come out at some point. So when we look at these tragedies, of leadership catastrophes that have occurred, of individuals that have a moral failing, whatever that moral failing is, whether it's sexual or financial or betrayal of whatever, pick your category. And so ultimately it's how do we develop a sensitive heart to the Lord as leaders?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more finance, governance, and fundraising news and insights for your church or ministry.